Hey Google, what time is it?
8:27 a.m.
Okay, all right. It's 8:27 a.m. as y'all heard. And here is what's going on outside. Rain, 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 rain. That's one thing about living in paradise, you know, it's all, oh, that's me. Hey, I got on my caftan. Oops, I meant to open this. One thing about living in paradise is that in order to be lush and green, it's got to have a lot of water, whether that's in the form of humidity or rain. Another thing about living in paradise is that there's always a bug around, a critter, you know, whatever. There's a moth. I think he's dead. He's been sitting up there in that same position for like 3 days. I'm waiting for the cleaning lady to come and get him. I'm gonna turn on the AC and some fans. And what else I want to do? You know what? Actually, I might be able to just open the windows because it's real breezy. Look at me. Look, you can tell how hot it is. And I'm going to get myself some iced coffee, and I'll be right back because I want to talk to you. Hey, it's me, the N to the J to the B, and I'm a little cooler than I was a little bit ago. You know what? I'm going to turn this fan off because I want to make sure you can hear me clearly. But if it gets too hot, I will turn it back on. Hey, Google. What time is it?
It's 8:49 a.m.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you, Google.
I'm honored to serve.
Life is lifing. Life been lifing. And yesterday was lifing harder than ever. I think it was cumulative. I think it was, yeah, just the effects of everything at once. And I wasn't good. I wasn't in a good place. I actually have been headed down this road for a while, and thank God for people who care about me. My family and friends were like, are you okay? Like, you know, my mother and another friend of mine were like, are you okay? I haven't heard from you. You've been too quiet. Another friend saw me on a previous podcast and reached out. And he's like, you didn't seem like yourself. Are you okay? And just, you know, just even thinking that someone would notice, you know, like I hope I don't start crying. But when I go through things or when I'm just dealing with something, I really just, you know, I try to just stay out of everybody's hair and handle it on my own, keep my own counsel, figure things out, because most things you go through, I don't know. Maybe I'm too hard on myself because I always want to help other people. When my friends or family are going through it, I've always done my best to provide some sort of assistance, be it even just encouragement, just whatever I can do to help them to get through that. But I often don't give them the same opportunity because I don't see it as an opportunity. I just see it as me dumping my whatever issues on them. I might share a little bit, but like I do a lot of stuff on my own. I've talked about therapy. You know, I told you, this is a running joke amongst my family and friends that I will send you to therapy. I'll be like, you need to go therapy on that. I will talk to you as much as I can, but I am not a licensed therapist. Go get some help. And the same holds true for myself. Going to therapy has helped me tremendously. My therapist in California can no longer see me if I'm not in California. So that's been like a loss. Like I have a wonderful team, and I feel no shame in saying that I have a mental health team. Hold on, I need to take a swig. Okay, I took a swig, and I told Florence to get to work and earn her keep. I've been killing, this is off on a tangent. Y'all know how I do. I have been killing moths viciously and violently for about 12 hours. They just started showing up everywhere, like these little tiny white moths. The big ones are outside, thank you. You know, they're not in here, but just little white moths everywhere. So it's time to call the exterminator again. The exterminator that came 3-4 months ago told me I would need one every 3 to 4 months, and yeah, he about right. So I'm gonna call the exterminator again, but you may see one float up in here, and I just been batting them with a towel, and they just turn to dust. I don't know what that's all about. I might have to Google that. But I got Florence out here. Y'all know Florence Johnston is cleaning up moth dust all over the floor. So I was saying thank you to my friends and family who reach out, you know, and a lot of times I don't want to talk, you know, like I'm not. Another running joke is Nicole will type you a text that's 3 days long, but not answer the phone. You know, like when my phone is on, the notifications are constantly going, and my nerves are bad. Look, I got anxiety, all right? So when the phone is constantly beeping, and like this is going to do this, you know, it's going to beep and buzz because it is like I told you, I've been learning to trade in the stock market, and the stock market is open, so it's doing its thing. So it's gonna beep and ding and dang and do whatever else. Let me show y'all Florence. Hold on. That's Florence. Hi, Florence. Okay, so I'm in my voiceover studio right now, and there hasn't been any voiceover work. I hadn't had a lot of auditions. Listen, I'm not editing anything, so all this, y'all getting all this. I had recorded a video where I was out and about and I was talking, and I edited it, and since I've been having trouble with focus, it was taking me a long time to edit, and the video was going to be about an hour long, and I was almost done, and I decided to send it to my computer because I was editing on my phone, and I did something and I lost all my edits. I still have the original video, but I don't think I'm going to edit. I don't think I'm going to re-edit that video. It's like an hour long. It took over the course of like 2 weeks, it took a lot of time, and to lose it, I was just like, girl. I've always been very honest with you. I'm honest on this channel. What's the name of this channel? Nicole J. Butler, Living Truthfully. And today is going to be no different. I don't want you to just know the good stuff. Yay, it's wonderful. I'm in paradise. Look at me in the sunshine. You know, life is just beautiful. I mean, life is beautiful overall, you know, but certain moments in life can kick your butt sometimes. And yesterday I was on the ropes. I didn't want to get out of bed yesterday. And I rarely feel depressed. Like I told you, I've had anxiety. I've been diagnosed with anxiety since I was like, I don't know, 17, something like that. And then 3.5-ish years ago, my psychiatrist told me, you know, I think your anxiety is the result of untreated ADHD. And the more research that I do, the more research that I've done, I believe that to be true. Because if you have something that's untreated, you either find workarounds in order to function, or you don't function, you know. And I managed to function well, I think, like well, until I didn't, until I crashed and burned, and I didn't know what was going on, and just from other people I talked to, other neurodivergent people, which I didn't know that applied to me, but like now that I know what it is, I'm like, how did we not catch this? How did we not catch this? You know why? Because back when I was coming up, I don't even know if anybody used ADHD. I know at some point ADD came along, and it was really only like bad boys who bad, like little boys who couldn't sit down, who just bouncing off the walls, da 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 da. Well, I was kind of bouncing off the walls, but I had a mama who would not allow that. She's like, y'all, you gonna sit down. Y'all gonna sit down. You gonna act like you got some sense, or you gonna get a whooping. And that's just how it was. This was the 70s. That's just how it was. So I did channel that energy into other things. It served me well in a lot of ways. I look back and I see where the deficiencies were, especially in social development. For a long time, I just felt mentally, emotionally, socially way behind my peers. Like things that they were doing and thinking about and concerned about or whatever. I was just like, hey, but the ability to hyper focus on things that really interest me, that served me well. And that's how I was able to build an acting career. Again, until I burned out, which is also common. ADHD burnout is a thing. Google it. It's a real thing. And because nobody tells middle-aged women these things, I had to do a lot of research on my own to figure out what is going on with me. I had this thriving acting career. This is in 2019. This thriving acting career. It was at the height of the she-shedness. Y'all know. Y'all listen. I never set out to be any type of celebrity. Like, I just love to create. I just the honesty, the beauty, the creativity in acting is what drew me in. And I believe in giving artists, any artist, the space to expand. Like Andre 3000, he was rapping. He done now. He's like, people interview him and say, hey, you at the top of your game. When we gonna get something else? He's like, I'm on something else now. I'm playing the flute. I think he played the flute. I think it's the flute. I'm on something else, and I think it's it is normal for people to grow and evolve. For some people, that means growth and evolution in the same area. And for some people, it means I'm on something else now. Okay, I am really getting to a point here. So, 2019, burned out. Didn't know what was wrong with me. Yeah, just waking up tired. Thriving acting career, which was all I wanted for a long time, and I didn't care anymore. Like, I was just like, I just want y'all to leave me alone. Like, I just wanted the phone to stop ringing for a while, and I just want to lay down. All right. I produced my show, Sister President. Well, we shot it in December 2019 and January 2020. That I thought it was going to kill me. Like, literally, I would be up at night because I wore a lot of hats. There wasn't a lot of money for that production. I raised some money through a campaign, fundraising campaign, and a lot of folks donated, which was great. And that covered a little under half of the cost to produce it. So the rest of it I funded myself, which I'm okay with. I'm not, I'm a martyr, it took all my, it was my project, so I'm okay with that. People donated time and expertise instead of money, and like, I'm grateful But I was even more exhausted. I would be up, like I was saying, I would be up 1, 2, 3 in the morning, steaming wrinkles out of people's wardrobe, knowing that I then had to learn my lines, go over my lines again, and be awake in time for like a 6:30 a.m. call. I was exhausted. I remember one time just crying, oh, I don't know about this. Like I'm steaming and crying. It's like, girl, okay, cry if you must, but continue steaming because Michelle gonna be here in the morning and she's gonna need her wardrobe to be camera ready. So I pushed forward. After that, editing had to be done. So I was working with an editor and the director who also worked with me on post-production, which means after you've shot it, you put everything together. And he was basically donating his time, which I greatly appreciated. So as exhausted as I was, if he was working, I was working, because he was doing it for free and he was doing things that I did not know how to do. Had it not been for him, y'all would never have seen Sister President. Okay, and you can see Sister President by going to sisterpresident.com. all right, watch it. I should upload it to this channel here, but if you're keeping track of me with this bouncing ball brain, this is 2020. What else happened in 2020? Pandemic. Yes, pandemic. So I was in a lot of political unrest. And I was not editing, but I was in the post-production process and I was glued to CNN. It was not a good time for anybody. But I was glad I didn't have to go places, because until that point, auditioning required going places. And because I was auditioning a lot, I was in the street all the time, in my car, back and forth across town. Okay, you got an audition over here 2. You got a same day audition over here 3 now. So that means you need to be seen over here as soon as possible. Sometimes they running late. Just because you got something else to do don't mean that they trying to, that they organized over here. So it's like, okay, keeping watch. All right, you got to be over here at 3. It's gonna take you 40 minutes to drive over there. And you got to change clothes in your car and possibly wigs too before you go in and just be cool as a cucumber. Cool, calm, collected, because don't nobody care about your problems. So that was what was going on before 2020. 2020, the whole world stopped. And it wasn't Beyonce this time. It was Miss Corona herself. It was horrible, because I just remember that time there was a death counter on the television. All right, I was glued to CNN because we never knew what that president was gonna do. People were dying in droves. Nobody knew what the heck was going on, and until later. And there was a counter on the TV telling you how many people had died that day from COVID-19. Is he gonna get me next? I don't know what's going on. Well, I am pretty sure that by the time COVID was identified, I had already had it. I had been sick for about 6 weeks right after finishing the shoot of Sister President. Like, not in the bed for 6 weeks. I was in the bed for about 3 weeks. And occasionally I would have to get up and go into the voiceover booth at my agent's office and give an audition. And then I just remember sitting in the office and just feeling bad. And I would go home and just get in the bed for the rest of the day until something else came up. And then I'd get up and drag myself to go do that. But I was really sick for about 3 weeks. And then it took about 3 weeks for me to feel somewhat normal. Okay, I can tell this video has gone on longer than I anticipated because I told Google to sound an alarm. Okay, I'm going somewhere for real. So if you need to pause this and come back to it, please do so. Sister President gets finished. We still in quarantine. I release it virtually. I was proud of it. It was very well received. It did win an award at the Urban Media Makers Film Festival. Not a lot of people saw it. That was that part was like, okay, well, everybody who saw it liked it, you know, but not a whole lot of folks saw it. I've done what I could to push it forward. You can watch it still on Quelly TV, and you can watch it online. Yeah, sisterpresident.com. 2020, y'all know what 2020 looked like. At the end of 2020, I needed to get a follow-up mammogram because, I've lost track now, but I don't know if it was early 2020 or if it was late 2019 when my primary care doctor said she noticed it felt like I had a lump in my breast. And I was like, I don't feel it. And she's like, you don't? And I'm like, no. And she said, okay, well, just, you know, maybe that's normal for you. I don't know. I feel something. She wanted me to come back in, I think it's 3 months. Well, I wasn't going near a clinic with COVID running rampant. So I didn't go back until a while later. When I went back again, something suspicious going on. All right, so now we got to do a biopsy. We got to do all these things. January 2021, you got breast cancer. All right. Around that time, I was also diagnosed with ADHD because I noticed that my ability to focus, my memory, like memory is important if you're an actress, okay? It was all just going downhill. And I saw one psychiatrist, really nice guy, seemed to know his stuff. He was a psychopharmacologist, and which is a psychiatrist that specializes in psych meds. I saw him, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like at this time, I didn't know I was burned out. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, I'm just, I'm not myself. I'm used to juggling multiple things, you know, juggling chainsaws and not dropping any and not cutting my hand off. And right now, I feel like if I try to juggle more than one chainsaw at a time, I ain't gonna make it. He said, and I was like, I feel like I just need to stop everything and I need to rest. This guy. And I don't disparage him. You know, I'm about to tell you what I'm about to tell you just because I think it's relevant. White man referred to me by a friend of a friend. And I think he meant well, but the advice he gave was not good for me. He told me, I think you need to push yourself and just push yourself. You know, I think you having these projects over your head and all these things to do, those are those are the things that are weighing on you, and you need to just push and get them done. I've been pushing all my life. If I didn't push, I hate to even think of what my life would have been and would be right now. That's what I know is pushing. So when he said that, and I was like, man, I just told you, I am unable to push. That's how I normally function. I'm unable to do that anymore. I knew it was time to find somebody else. So I asked my therapist. My therapist cannot prescribe medication. I asked her, can you recommend somebody? And she recommended someone. And this is a black woman. And I talked to her. And I told her, about my history of anxiety and, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, let's try something. And she gave me, she asked me a bunch of questions in a survey. ADHD survey. And I don't know how many questions were on that survey, but about 10 questions in, it was pretty clear that I might have been patient zero for. Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? Yo. Look, it is really, I'm going to show y'all. I know this is the most ADHD thing ever, but I got to show y'all this. Hold on. The wind is whipping. Okay, anyway, the wind kicked up real hard for a brief moment. And it's just pouring rain. There is a tropical storm / hurricane in the area. I don't think it's here. Something's here because it's dark. Y'all see how dark it is outside? It's morning time. Like, what is going on? All right, back on track. There's life in the tropics. Okay, I had to turn the fan back on, so I'm just gonna talk a little louder. Here, let's move this fan under the desk. Cause I want to sit and take some time with y'all today and just fully explain what the heck been going on up in here. Okay, so I'm looking. This is another thing I don't like. I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs, but I live in the jungle. Y'all see how beautiful that view is? Well, normally when it ain't storming and dark at like 10 a.m. or whatever time, 9:17 a.m. It's a beautiful view. But living in paradise, living in the tropics comes at a cost, especially if you don't like bugs. So, yeah, we're going to get the exterminator up in here because having the moth hotel up in here is not my jam. Hey, Google, stop. Okay, that was my bedroom alarm going off. I set multiple alarms for everything. I'm supposed to be meditating right now. I've been meditating lately just to center myself, just to calm down, breathe. That's something that I have to consciously do. And I'm trying to get into the habit of it because I've been going off the rails, for real. So going back to my mental health team, God bless y'all who are still with me. You like me. You really, really like me. So my mental health team, for the first time, I got two sisters, two black women. My therapist is older than I am. I don't know how old, you don't never know how old we are, but she's older than I am. I think my psychiatrist is younger than I am. Maybe, anyway, it don't matter. A little younger, within 10 years of where I am. So, and it's so beautiful that I don't have to explain cultural nuances to them. They got it. We can work on real issues because we not talking about maybe you need to push yourself, maybe you're not working hard enough. When do you know black women who don't work hard enough? That is not a thing. Okay, if we ain't working hard, there's a reason, and it's probably got to do with mental health. Okay, so there are just certain things. I remember going to a therapist one time. This woman, sometimes I'm tempted to write her a letter and tell her, you are the worst, you're dangerous, because somebody could go in there suicidal and after leaving her office beat and killed themselves. She fell asleep. What else? During our session, she fell asleep. My last session with her, I walked in and she said, what are we going to talk about today? Black Lives Matter? Yeah, I almost cussed just now. Not once did I ever go into her office and say, let's talk about Black Lives Matter. This kind of nonsense I'm not getting from Black therapists, okay? Because they understand cultural nuances. I don't have to explain them. There's already an understanding there. Did y'all see that? Was that a ball? Okay. So, we on the road to mental health. Good mental health. Diagnosed with cancer, diagnosed with ADHD, medicated for ADHD for the first time. My brain went quiet. And I started crying immediately because I was like, is this what normal feels like? Is this a normal brain? And I've been operating like that my whole life? I couldn't believe it. Like, you don't have, like, not voices like schizophrenia. That's a whole different thing. I've seen it up close. I don't make light of it. It is no joke. Not like that. But like a running dialogue, like multiple running dialogues at all times in your head. You don't have that if you're not neurodivergent. Yo, like, I didn't know. Certain things that I do, I didn't know they weren't normal. So I'm like, no wonder I'm tired. Like, I am working so hard to just have some normalcy in my life. And I'm looking around and I'm like, how come nobody else is tired? You know, like this. How come, like, what? I feel like I'm the only one having the issues that I'm having. But my issues are common for neurodivergent people. Who knew? So, I learned that. Also, went through cancer treatment. I had surgery. Caught COVID again. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed the first time, but looking back, I know that's what I had. Got COVID again. Recovered. Had radiation. Recovered. Took off. I went to Hawaii and I went to Acapulco. I spent a month in Acapulco just to get away and clear my head and have a beautiful view. And not only did I not have the attention span to act anymore, because remember, acting, you got to memorize a whole lot of stuff. I didn't even really care. Like, I was just like, what else is on? I've done this. It's not fun to me anymore. It's not interesting to me anymore. An actress is not everything that I am. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. What else is on? I tried to go back to acting because it's been my livelihood. I booked some jobs. I booked jobs, you know, or certain, you know, shows would call me and say, hey, you available? I'd be like, yep, I'll be right there tomorrow. And I enjoyed that part of things, but, you know, I felt like I wasn't growing creatively, which to me is very important. Decided maybe it's time for me to leave LA. I thought about buying a place in Chicago as a home base, and then, like, when it was cold in Chicago, I would just get out of Chicago and I would just travel. I don't know why I decided not to do that. I postponed it because I started seeing a guy who was a friend. We're still friends. We're not seeing each other because, well, I'm here for one, but, like, nothing bad happened. We just got other stuff. Each of us has other things going on in our lives, but thankfully we're still good friends, and we had that conversation before we started seeing each other. Okay, this goes left. You know, like, I don't want to lose this friendship that we have. So we were seeing each other for a minute, and I wanted to see where that went, and the answer was nowhere. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I've given this a year. Let me decide where I want to live. Okay, now's a good time for a break. And you know what? I didn't tell y'all, this thing behind me that looks like a lightsaber is actually just a really cool lamp my aunt gave to me when I was moving into this place. So I like light to create, you know, atmosphere. So looked around for a place to live. I had heard good things about Mexico City. Visited Mexico City. I was like, not for me. It felt like Mexican Chicago. And I'm like, if I wanted to live in Chicago, I'd just be in Chicago. And it was chilly. I don't want to live nowhere chilly. I don't know if they get snow or not. I don't think they get snow. But it was, when I went, it was October 2022, I think. Maybe 2021. No, it was 2021. October 2021. And it was chilly. Like I did not like. So culturally, lots going on, but it was just, I'm like, I'm trying to get away from the hustle and the bustle. I am trying to heal from what I know now is burnout, and if not addressed, burnout can lead to worse issues, and it just continues. It's not one of those, well, go to a retreat for a weekend or lay down for a couple days. No, if you are burnt out, like you need proper care. It needs to be addressed. And I wasn't able to address it properly while running around LA. So, decided to visit Playa del Carmen because I heard a lot of sisters were coming here, moving here, and I didn't know what that was all about, but I wanted to check it out. I came here in May of 2023. Sandra from Lack to Legacy. Go to her channel. If you're not on her channel, go subscribe. She got a lot of good things to say to help you level up, get your life together. She connected me with a friend of hers. She used to live here for a little while. She connected me. Let me pause this. Florence about to empty herself and it's really loud. Hang on. Okay, I didn't want to subject y'all to that. It's really loud. I had visited Cancun in 2022 and I was supposed to come to Playa del Carmen, but we all caught COVID and there's some videos on that too if you want to go back and look at that time frame on my channel. But I finally got here in May of 2023 and I met with a woman who lived here. I met with her twice and she just gave me the lay of the land. I decided to come back in August of 2023. Got videos about that too. My mom and my aunt were also here. My aunt had just lost her husband. She actually lost her husband when I was here the first time in May. And she needed to get out of the house. And my mom had just gotten her passport and she was turning 70. And I was like, come on, both of y'all, just come on. So I wanted to see what it would be like if I lived here. You know, not staying in a hotel, being in a condo, it was an Airbnb, for a month, like going and buying groceries. What does it look like? Like, how do I get around? Like, what do people do here? So I did that and decided this was the place for me to be. Now, I'm getting to the present. What I had in mind is actually not what I ended up doing, okay? I had planned to come here, get a small, sunny place where I could see the water, and pay less than I was paying for rent in LA, which was doable. My aunt and I decided to live together. So we decided to move on the side of the highway that's away from the beach. It's away from the beach, it's away from the touristy area. It's less expensive for what you get. It's like more residential, even though we were in a subdivision where there were a lot of non-Mexican people. There are a lot of Mexican people. Well, I mean, we're in Mexico, so there are a lot of Mexican people here in Playa, but it's kind of like LA, where there are a lot of Americans in LA, but most of them ain't from LA, or a whole lot of them are not from LA. It's the same thing here in Playa, where yes, there are a lot of Mexican people in Playa, but the vast majority of them are not from Playa. They're from other places in Mexico. So we were living in a subdivision where not only were the people mostly not from Playa, a lot of them weren't Mexican either. But you're more likely to find Mexican natives, Mexican nationals, that's the proper term, living away from the touristy area. That's what I'm trying to say. So we did that, and then eventually we split off. We have our own places now, and I was made an offer that I couldn't refuse. I'm like, this rent to own situation sounds wonderful. Okay. And it truly did. And I think I think I'm fortunate to have received this offer. But it just hit me recently that I am so far from what I intended to do. And it's a little scary, because as I've stated recently on podcasts, I don't have a job. I can't go back to what I was doing before, because mentally I don't have the capacity for it. I have found a psychiatrist here. I don't get to see. Oh, what the heck is going on over here? I don't get to see her until next week. A medical doctor did prescribe medication for me. What is happening? Y'all see them? What is that? Is that dust? What is happening in here? Like, I keep seeing things on the camera. Y'all rewind that. I promise you I ain't tripping. Whew. Anyway, I don't know that I'm on the right medication right now. It's better than nothing, but I don't often get depressed. And I was depressed yesterday, and I've been headed in that direction for a while, and I don't want to bother nobody, you know. So of course, this is the kind of stuff I do. I like tech. I like AI. I'm actually studying AI right now. I'm taking an online course, and so I asked an AI chatbot, this is how I'm feeling, what should I do? And the answer was, you should consult a therapist and reach out to people you trust. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I don't want to be just bugging people, you know. I don't want to worry my mama. I don't want to worry my dad. Like, I'm not getting ready to jump, but I need to talk to somebody and just get some things into perspective. I talked to one of my friends the night before, the one who I told you reached out. He was like, you're not, like, I saw you on your latest video. Are you okay? That was a great conversation. And I really just, you know, I felt seen. It was like, oh, okay. Like, people do notice when I'm not okay, you know, even though I'm not like, hey, red flag, hey y'all, I'm not okay, you know. Like, I was surprised and I was touched. So thank you for that. You know who you are. Yesterday I'm in the bed, and I keep wanting to get out of bed, and I'm just like, just laying there. Whatever. When I get up, I'm gonna have to do these, you know, things, respond to these people, do this, that. I'm tying up loose ends still in the US. I'm having to deal with stuff here. Like, I feel like I'm bleeding money. I was wondering, like, why? Like, I did not intend to be buying a condo. Like, that wasn't the plan. How did I end up here? I felt like I felt like the decision to move here was a good one, but everything that I've done since then was a bad one. Like I bought an electric motorcycle because I didn't want to have to be going to the gas station. Now the friggin' thing won't charge. I had to have it towed to a shop because I don't ride well enough to ride it like on the highway to get it to the like it's just there's something new every day, you know. And then yesterday was moths, you know, like today there's moths. I just felt so overwhelmed that I didn't even want to get up. So sent up a flare. Hey, a couple of friends of mine in a group chat. Hey y'all, I'm not good. I am not good today. This is what's going on. He responded immediately, even though they got their own stuff going. Everybody got their own life, you know, which is why I try not to bother people. But like I was like, look, I'm not good. I am not good, and I need to talk to one of y'all, you know, if not both of y'all. So one was at a doctor's appointment, and she's like, I'll get back to you right afterwards. The other one, she was working, and she video called me, bless her heart. And I was like, oh no, I'm in the bed with a torn up t-shirt on and a bonnet. No. So I called her back on voice call, and I told her everything that I was thinking and feeling, and like she got me together. In a way that I truly appreciated. You know, we've known each other for a long time. She knows if I'm saying, hey, I need some help over here, I must really need some help. So she said a lot of things, like pointed out a lot of things that are true and things that I knew, but when you're going through it, you forget stuff. You know, it's just like, oh, the sky is falling, and you know, I've made some horrible decisions here, and I don't even know where I am anymore, and you know, and you forget about all the good decisions that you made and the possibilities ahead. So she was able to redirect me, and I laid there for a little bit longer, and I was like, all right, let me get up, let me feed myself, because it was like, I don't know, 3 p.m. and I hadn't eaten anything. Let me get up, let me eat, let me see what I can do with this day. Responded to some text messages. I'm building a website for someone. I'm still working on a coffee table book for someone. Like, both projects have evolved. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that right now. And I'm like, let me handle this stuff, eat, and just think. I did that. I read a little bit. I signed up for a financial empowerment class. It's going to be a year-long. I don't even know whether to call it a class. It might be a workshop. I don't know. It's a year long. And I just felt like I had previously talked to the woman who ran it. Like, I had a consultation with her, and I felt like it was the right thing to do to make sure that I don't run out of money. You know, it's like, okay, well, I'm not doing the work that I expected to be doing right now. I do feel like I'm bleeding money in ways that I did not anticipate, and I need to start making some money. That needs to happen. So I'm figuring that part of things out, but I also want to hold on to the money that I have. And I ain't balling by any means, but thank God I ain't gonna be on the street tomorrow. Last night, I felt like turning on some music and dancing, and I did. I danced around here while I was, what was I doing? I was cleaning up. I decided I was gonna stay up late and get some things done since I had some energy. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get me some coffee then. And it was like, I don't know, it was like 9 o'clock at night. You know, I had no business drinking coffee at 9 o'clock at night, but I did. And I got some things started that had been on my to-do list for a long time. I also crossed off things that have been on my to-do list that I'm like, oh, I did this. Like, there have been days when I'd look at my to-do list and it's like 75 things on it, and I might do one. And I would just feel like such a failure. But yesterday, going through and crossing those things off, I was like, oh, I've actually been doing some things. Okay. All right. Reminded myself that I'm a human being. I'm not a human doing, you know, and sometimes I gotta just be. Sometimes I can't do, you know, and as much as we like to say, I have to, no, if it's between my health, physical, mental or emotional health, and doing this thing, I gotta take care of me. It was a reminder and a wake-up call. I did not come here to be stressed. I didn't come here to be more stressed than I was in LA. Late last night, so then the moths started showing up, and so I started fighting them, and I decided, okay, I've had enough of this, and decided to go into my bedroom because I've only seen one moth in there. I go in my bedroom, and I decided, you know what, it's like midnight, I should go to bed and get up early and do some more stuff that's on my to-do list. And I had a conversation with myself in the mirror that went something like, girl, you are too good for this. You are too important for this. You are too precious for this. You can feel down sometimes. You can stay in the bed, you know, every now and then when you're tired. But you were put here for a purpose. And if you don't do what you were put here to do, then what's the point of you being here? Now, in order to do what you were put here to do, you got to make sure you're okay. You got to take care of your health in all ways possible. You have to guard what you put into your brain, what you put into your body, what you put into your spirit. Feed it good things. You got to put guardrails around your life. Not to keep you from experiencing life, because I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And you were put here to have a human experience and all that that entails, so that you can know what all of these things are like, and you can help other people who are going through the same thing, or people who are where you've already been. But you have to remember that you are a spirit having a human experience. So feed your spirit the things that it needs in order to grow and thrive. Put boundaries around yourself so that toxicity can't just freely enter in, wandering out, wandering in. No. You got to be discerning, because you're here for a reason. And somebody needs you. Even when it seems like nobody cares, nobody knows what you're going through, your efforts don't matter, somebody needs you to get up. Get up and pour from your overflow. Not pour from a well that's coughing dust. Here. You know, no. Not even pour from a full cup. Because what happens is if you pour from a full cup, you're not full anymore. And if you do that too many times, you deplete it, right? You have to fill up to the point of overflowing and pour from the overflow. This is sacred work. We were all put here to do sacred work. Otherwise, what's the point of us being here? We were all put here to make other people's lives better. Otherwise, what is the point of us being here? This is the conversation that I had with myself in the mirror last night. Get it together. You are too important to go to waste. And I decided right then and there that I was going to share this with you. I didn't know this video was going to be this long, but I decided I was going to share this revelation, which is what it was, with you in case somebody here needs to hear it. As my friend told me yesterday, everybody I know is going through it. And that seems to be the case. When I look around, I'm like, everybody's going through it. There's some people who are pretending to not be going through it, but like, I know they're going through it, and I don't, you know. Yeah, ain't no need in faking the funk, and ain't no future in your front. So just call it what it is. Everybody goes through it sometimes. And while I don't really like to appear on camera, not because I'm ashamed of going through things, I don't like bugging people. I really don't. I don't like to bother people. Maybe this is part of my growth. You know, showing the weak places. Weak. I don't know that it's weak. It's human. Showing my scars. Maybe that helps people as well. I like to teach and share, inspire and encourage when I've already learned a lesson. Now when I'm in the midst of it, because it's messy. You know, I've talked about the messy middle before. I feel like I've been in the messy middle for a while now. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what life really is. Just like, you know, you got a beginning, the rest of it is messy middle, and then you got the end. Because just when you think you got things figured out, you're settled in, things change. You change. Life changes. That's the only thing constant. Change. And then you just gotta, you know, figure out what's going on. Figure out, okay, well, what am I doing now? Well, who am I now? Well, how am I necessary in the world right now? All the while being good to yourself. Trusting your gut. Trusting the sense that God gave you. Trusting that God and the universe are on your side and want you to win. And that everything is going to work out everything is going to work out for the benefit of the people who need you to be at your best. So that's the conversation that I had with myself last night. And it was needed. Trees are treeing. The trees are treeing and life be lifing. And I'm in a better place today. I thank my village for holding my arms up when I didn't feel like I could. I love y'all dearly. I'm so fortunate to have people in my life who know me, who I can call on. Like I can't, just thinking about that makes me want to cry, because like I told my mom recently, she was concerned, and I think she was stressing herself out a little bit about, like, if something happened to you, how would I find out? I'm like, well, you know, these are like systems I have in place. But it's something that I hadn't really concerned myself with too much, because it's been so long since I lived around biological family, you know, like I'm used to, you know, you work it out. Like, you know, this is what I'm used to doing. So it's, I'm actually closer to Chicago now than I was when I lived in LA. So, you know, I'll be all right. Ultimately, I'm gonna be all right, you know. That don't mean I'm all right every day, but today I'm better than I was yesterday. So I'm gonna call that a win. All right, I'm gonna get out y'all's hair, and figure out who over here texting me, and see what the stock market is doing, and get some stuff done on my to-do list. I also got to figure out how to get this friggin' moped back to my place. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. If this was helpful to you, if you watched to the end, God bless you. God bless you and keep you. Oh my goodness. I didn't know this was going to be this long, but this is where I am in life. And it's been a while, so just consider this one cumulative video of all the videos that I haven't been making lately, just because I've been in my feelings, in my head, and trying to figure some things out. But God's got me. I am we working through it, and that's all I got to say today. All right. See you soon. Melanie and I have a podcast episode coming up next Tuesday, which is October 1st. We'll be on at 5:30 p.m. Central US time. And, you know, a couple of people asked in the comments of our last video, asked that we talk about certain topics, and we are going to. We also don't want to get in the habit of talking about like traumatic things, even though we all going through it, but sometimes you need some uplift, right? And so it's going to be a hybrid episode. So some of what we're going to talk about are things that we've been asked to talk about, which are heavy topics, but they're heavy topics that are necessary to talk about because people dealing with heavy things, right? But we're also going to add some uplift. So it's not like, oh, let me watch Nicole and Melanie on their What's Next podcast. I know, here, let me get ready. I know it's going to be some doom and gloom. Let me get my drink ready. Whatever. We don't want it to be like that. So we want to deal with real issues, but we got to add some levity, okay? All right. I will see you soon. Love you. Please love yourselves. Love each other. And bye.